2524, take a domestic, 2500 on Newland.
10-4.
Scenarios like this play out in jurisdictions all across America on a daily basis. In the vast majority of cases, police officers take steps to protect themselves, the residents nearby, and the dogs they encounter. But increasingly, police are under close scrutiny as news media reports portray instances in which police officers shoot and kill dogs they encounter on calls. Hello. I'm Terry Hillard, retired superintendent of the Chicago Police Department and co-founder of Hillard Hanks Security. During my tenure, nothing was more important to me than the safety of the men and women who protect the streets of Chicago. I've also seen firsthand the vital role dogs play in a safe, humane community. This video series is not intended to second guess an officer's response nor to put any officer in harm's way. Rather, our goal here is to give officers tangible, tactical options in their encounters with dogs. The goal is to work together to help keep our communities safe and humane.
We know what the mission is. We know what we're supposed to do in a use of force model. And then we add the dynamic of dogs.
Dogs don't lie, all right? They'll tell you what they're thinking. You give them an out, they'll take it. They don't want to fight with you on the whole.
Everybody who enforces the law comes in contact with people's pets. And so it's incredibly bad press to be shooting Daisy.
A 62-year-old grandmother is mad and grieving after police shot and killed her 13-year-old dog, Wrinkles.
You can see all the bullet holes, about 8 bullet holes, all up and down the steps with bullets everywhere.
I mean, we are seeing punitive damages awards of $15,000, $20,000, $50,000 that are paid by you.
In this video, we'll examine ways police officers can effectively assess the environment. We'll look at how to assess the risk from a police and public safety perspective. And we'll look at how a dog's body language can provide visual cues and how an officer's approach can affect a dog's behavior. In our scenario, the officers approaching the house are presented a series of clues: a sign on the gate, a water bowl on the porch, an outside lead, and worn paths.
Looks like there could be a dog out here.
The obvious thing that you're going to want to do is make sure in your series of questions that you're trying to get answered, whether en route to the call or immediately upon arrival, is there a dog on the scene?
If an officer determines that a dog is present, and if there is sufficient time, animal control should be called to handle the dog. If that's not an option, the officer should take several steps to minimize risk.
Make some noise with the gate. Just rattle, hey, how you doing? Give some warning. One, you want to do it for both of you, because the dog now knows somebody's coming into the property.
Hi, girl.
The other aspect is, okay, now if there is a dog, what other options do we have for containment of the dog?
Hello, sir. I need you to contain your dog. Can you please bring him inside?
So you start looking to say, maybe a bathroom is a great location to say, well, we'll just put that dog in the bathroom. That can mitigate this particular problem so we can go on to the other problem and deal with it.
Dog training expert and renowned canine author Brian Kilcommons has published 9 books. He's worked with more than 40,000 dogs.
Basically, dogs tell us what they are thinking through their body language. If you know how to look for that and how to communicate with them, you can neutralize or keep you and the dog safe at any given time.
Whether it's answering a domestic call, serving a warrant, or even just coming across a dog on the loose, creating time to interpret a dog's behavior is good practice.
I think the one issue that is evident in all these encounters that has to be continually reassessed is the time of it. How much time is involved? And when there are encounters with dogs, there isn't a clock that we have to be done with this call in a matter of minutes. And that's actually what kind of puts us into a corner. When we have to make a split decision, then we have got limited options. But when we realize that we have a little more time to deal with this, then we have more options.
In order to assist in reading canine clues, we developed an exercise in which a variety of dogs are secured to a tree or fence. Police officer participants are asked to simply approach the dog. In this example, the officers walk directly toward a tethered dog. The officers make direct eye contact and move to pat the dog's head.
If somebody comes up to you really fast and into your space and you don't know them, there's a certain reaction you have. And usually it's fight or flight. Either you push them out of your space or you back up to get more space. Dogs do the same thing, but there's a height differential. So it's accentuated with dogs if you're coming in towards them.
Armed with some basic information, other officers try a slightly different approach, this time to a dog who's agitated. The officers adopt a turned or bladed approach with a soft arc instead of a direct, straight-on path toward the dog. They use a calm, reassuring voice.
That's a good boy. That's a good boy.
Smiling always helps. All right? Talking to the dog in a nice voice. Don't reach for it and wait to see some of those signs where the tail drops and it's wagging. The face softens. All right? The dog looks at you and goes, okay, this is cool. And that happens within seconds.
The officers are going to conduct themselves in the way that they were trained. Straight on to the target, be very commanding, your physical presence, the way you use your voice. But what we've learned in this video is that when dealing with an animal, sometimes the reverse is the best.
We're not turning police officers into dog trainers. We're not convincing a police officer, go make friends with Fluffy. That's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about them going into a situation, knowing if a dog is there, if it is there, how to communicate with that dog, reduce the potential of an aggressive situation happening.
Any officer, in any circumstance, when you start giving them a good tool, they'll all kind of do that nod of, yep, that makes sense. I'd like to keep that, put it in my bag of tricks, because they know eventually you're going to walk into another situation and deal with that.
In this video, we examined several aspects of police encounters with dogs. To recap, anticipate. On any call, it's important to determine whether a dog is present. Contain. If a dog is present, contain, or have the dog contained. If possible, request assistance from animal control, your animal response unit, or, if your department permits, a partner humane society. Assess a dog's body language for signs of the dog's disposition. And communicate non-threatening body language yourself, blading your body, no direct eye contact, and using a calm voice.
We've given you some clues to look for, things that will help you diffuse an encounter with a dog before it escalates. As police officers, we work hard to keep the peace and protect our communities from crime and violence. How you handle your encounters with dogs is an important part of creating safe, humane communities. Thanks for watching, and please, stay safe.